so like a lot of us here entertain and perform here at Desert Bus, but a lot of us have day jobs or other creative things we do. But all three of you spend a little bit more time on stage than the rest of us, I believe. Is that correct?
Well, on a good day.
Yeah.
In a perfect world.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you at least go to a lot more auditions than I do. Let's put it that way.
So many.
Yeah. I don't know. The last time I was on an actual stage for an actual theatrical performance was probably, I don't know, it was like 21. It was Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. A friend of mine had put together a production of it that was 8 pairs of Rosencrantzes and Guildensterns, and every scene change we would pair change. So there was an order at the beginning, and then towards the end of the play, it just became any pair could tag any other pair out, like on stage at any time. You would just walk out and tap them improv style, and they would just wander off, and you'd continue the scene.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was incredible and fun and weird and chaotic. We rehearsed in a SkyTrain station in Vancouver because we didn't have a rehearsal space, so we just went in the lobby. It was Renfrew Station.
That's so tight.
Yeah. It was really fun.
That's pretty metal of you.
Yeah. Because it was literally just a friend of ours who's a theater director and actress and was like, I want to do this. I don't want to have to go through all the bureaucratic stuff to do this in auditions. Hey friends, who wants to do this? There's 16 of you. Great, let's go.
Here's what we're doing.
Auditions, you all got accepted. Let's go.
That's really neat.
It was cool.
Hey, let's go. Sorry, I actually just trying to test something.
Yeah, do it.
I don't know if this is working now.
Oh, I'm seeing thumbs. I'm seeing thumbs. I think you're back on.
Okay.
Right.
No, we figured it out. When the microphone was handed over,
Right.
a tiny switch got somehow shifted. So that's why.
Well, I'm glad you're back because I would actually like all 4 of you to answer my next question here. What regular self-care do you do to keep your amazing talents fresh and or sharp? Whether it's in terms of after performance or getting ready for an audition or just sort of the general day-to-day things to keep your voice exercised and treated well, that kind of thing. If you have any sort of routine relating to that.
There's something I'm doing right, and I also get to shamelessly self-promote as well. I'm in a production of Sound of Music in Vancouver at the moment. We're performing at the Stanley. We run until January 5th, and it's very tight backstage, and there are a lot of people in the show, and we've got 7 children. And bless them, they've got so much energy, and and so what I need to do, because I have a lot of anxiety, not on stage. Weirdly, I'm okay with that, but being in a confined space with people makes me very anxious, and so what I tend to find a quiet stairwell and sort of stand there and breathe for a bit, and that helps me get out of my own weird anxiety spirals and helps me focus better.
Nice.
Vocally, for me, it's as much silence as humanly possible before and after. If you're in the run of a show, which, shameless self-plug, I will be.
Please promote your work.
I will be in a production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in Richmond, which is also in the Greater Vancouver area.
Playing the Pharaoh.
I am playing the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
It's super cool. And there's a lot of singing for me. So in any singing heavy shows, it runs until December 31st. And any heavy singing show where I'm constantly just skrelting, that's belting and screaming at the same time, for those of you who don't know, I tend to try and just like stay as on vocal rest as much as possible. I'm also a person like mentally who just needs a lot of decompression time after each show. Usually a show you probably wrap up around 11 o'clock at night. And I'm a person, like, if I have the freedom to do so, I need to decompress and just like zone out for at least a good solid 2 or 3 hours before I go to bed. Otherwise I'm just wound up and my brain's just going at 100 miles an hour. And so I usually just like, I sit and drink tea or beer or whatever, what have you, and watch a lot of YouTube.
Cool. Thank you. I'm going to get to the other couch in a second, but I just see some folks side stage who want to distribute some ice cream cake.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hand that out. I would absolutely love a small piece of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And remember, this is all thanks
Thank
to
you.
James's hubris.
I mean, this
Thank
is
you, James's
this is all thanks
hubris.
to Mr. Horrible.
Yes, cheers to
Yeah.
that.
So thank you very much, Mr. Horrible,
Cheers.
for
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers.
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 hoisting James by his own
did it.
petard and bringing us all ice cream cake.
Thank you. Thank you, James.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's good stuff.
James's petard brings all the boys to the yard.
James's petard does indeed.
That was very good.
That is it. That's real good.
I always thought James had more of a Riker vibe.
I mean, he does. Yeah. Yeah.
To everyone looking expectantly backstage in the kitchen, everyone on stage has ice cream. Those are yours now.
Yep. If you're backstage and you want ice cream cake, help yourselves. And then, if anybody over on the other couch there has any of those self-care routines for performance, please.
Oh, engineering
Sorry?
is that. I will rectify this.
Thank you, Colin.
I mean, I stay away from dairy. So, I mean, it's not good. I tend to generate a lot of phlegm.
Right.
And that can damage your vocal cords when you're trying to do things.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
you know, sometimes phlegm is good.
Sometimes
you need a
phlegm is
little
good,
phlegm.
because, well, especially when you've been doing things for a long time. Sometimes you want a little sip of milk to kind of, jimmy jangle your vocal cords and whatnot.
That's the technical term.
Yes.
jimmy
The
jangle.
professionals, one and all. But it's definitely getting that decompression time, especially after a show, like especially here at Desert Bus. I mean, any show, like getting that time where you're not thinking about anything because your brain just wants to keep getting what you were getting
Yep.
when you were in the show, and
Yeah.
you'll be like, cool. Now I'm just gonna watch Cats forever. I've got my Final Fantasy fishing.
Right.
That's how I started getting into fishing in Final Fantasy, was to decompress after auditions and after shows, after doing anything performative, and making sure, like, within the moment, taking care of yourself and making sure that during a show or during a performance, making sure that you are your number one priority. Because if you can't take care of yourself, if you don't put your mask on first, you can't do the service that is performance.
Right.
At least that's how I see it. Other people have different philosophies. This is Jacob Fu.
I think I'm on the same page as you with that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah,
Hard agree.
performance is a service. Acting is a service. It's not about you. You are rewarded for it, but it is not about you. It's about the audience and their enjoyment, or at least telling the truth of whatever you're trying to do. Oh,
Cool.
Derek.
Thank you. Kathleen, anything you'd like to tag on there before I take us to our next destination?
I don't really have like a voice to take care of, but I do have a brain, which is where all my best and worst ideas come from.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to go outside and go for a walk where there's a tree and a sky and maybe even a bird to look at. But just like to go for a walk and like move your body, because honestly, moving your body is good for your mind.
Yeah.
And just like, obviously not everyone can, just go out, and like just go for like a walk. Like,
Yeah.
some people have like mobility issues or something, but just getting outside in the sunlight and the fresh air and outside of your normal space, if that works for you, can be really good for your mind.
Nice. That's a really good one. Thank you.
I think that's some of the hardest ones too to
Yeah.
like be regular about, for me anyway.
Yep. I also had from over in comms TQ, also a performer, had a suggestion for us.
Tell yourself that you're a bad bus every morning.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
We all bad buses.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to mark that challenge as complete. Jacob, I cut you off there. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. No, I was about to say I hired a demon of a trainer to help keep me healthy and in shape and things like that, and to support, because you're performing with your body. It has made me a better performer. I have more stamina. I have more
Right.
drive. Things like that. If you are able to, regular exercise is good for performance and taking care of yourself. All of those cliches of like, I have more energy and I sleep better, blah blah blah.
Right.
They're annoyingly true.
It's kind of a bummer.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Working out bites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
It
worst.
never
And-
gets better.
And you have to acknowledge that they're right at the end of it.
Yeah.
What a, like, come on.
It never gets better.
I think there was a Ryan Reynolds quote This is before he became super famous, and he was just a really ripped extra in a Bad Blade movie.
Okay.
And he had, you know, like a 19 pack or however many a normal human is supposed to have muscles there.
21 there, bro.
Yeah, and he was just like, being this ripped sucks. I'm in pain all the time. I'm just constantly hurting. You know.
Yep.
I don't know if that makes you more or less motivated to do that.
I don't
Oh,
know.
far less.
Far less.
I just have to make myself,
Yeah,
and
that's
he'll
what,
find me if I don't.
also it's not just about the 21 packs as well, right? Because like that can just be like painful and hurty, but health is good.
Yeah.
I mean, health is good.
Oh,
Yeah. And that comes in many different body types.
yeah. Thank you,
All right.
Sue. Thank you for reminding me to drink some water because I'm real thirsty.
Yeah, why doesn't everybody drink some water so I can mark this other challenge to make sure everyone is hydrated as also complete? Completing a second challenge and pivoting us over to what we're going to do next here.